All right, we're back. Subpar hunting has officially come to an end. It's time to break out the hounds. But we're back for one last podcast on the rifle season. We're going to go around the table and everybody that's here.
Morgan.
Walker Witt.
White Knife.
Spotted Elk.
The one and only is here.
Yep, I'm here.
I'm also here. My name's Jay.
Jay's back. Yep. A lot of anticipation for Spotted Elk being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my boy Ricker, if you're out there, just know I'm proud of you for shooting that giant.
Yeah, he's a big fan. He shot his biggest buck to date down on the farm, so we're all proud of him.
Killing big ones. Speaking of killing big ones, we had Walker officially give his little milk rag to Ben.
Yep, handed off the milk rag to Ben.
But Walker's track record isn't totally set on only killing high caliber deer at this point, so it's to be continued.
That's right.
It's going to be a long to be continued.
Yeah.
But for now, he's redeemed himself, and we're going to tell his story finally.
Passed on this one giant half rack, and then Jay texted me and was like, "Hey, shot a wolf."
Which I said, they're definitely lying. Something's happening because Walker's not letting anything slide, half rack or not, if he can help it with his client. It was a cool buck.
It was.
Good video of it.
Yeah.
It was pretty sweet. He did let it walk.
Yep.
We don't know what kind of hunting scenario played out between then to let it walk, but he told us, our story was told that 30 yards, they just watched this big buck.
Yep. My guy, I was actually eating the brownies that Morgan makes every Sunday. So
Yeah.
I put them in aluminum foil.
Yeah.
And then I put them in the fire and melted the peanut
put 'em in
butter.
what?
The fire.
Hold up. You're sitting by a fire,
Yeah.
and a deer come in?
Yeah. Yep. I took one bite of my brownie, and my client was peeing, and he said, "Walker." I was like, "What?" He's like, "There's a buck." And I looked down. Lo and behold, there's this, it would have been a giant or a big one, whatever you want to classify it as. But it was just a half rack, walked right by us, 30 yards, and then just never even looked at us, never stopped, never broke stride, just real slow, feeding through, cruising, and
Walker never lets the truth get in the way of a good story, but we have verification, and everybody sitting here saw the video.
yep,
So I think you could even see the fire smoke in the background.
yep. I said, I had to ask if he wanted to shoot it. All right. I didn't want him to shoot it, I will be honest, because it was a half rack and I knew he'd be there next year. And I was like, "Do you want to shoot it?" And he was like, and then he walked over and he was like, I don't think. He's like, "Let it pass. We'll come back and shoot it later in the week if nothing else." But we didn't go back. So yeah.
Well, we can't tell your whole story, only half of your story. So you go ahead, Jay, and you can tell us you were the first one to make a successful kill for the week.
Yeah.
By your clients.
I ended up shooting something this week with my clients.
It's wild.
Yeah. First day we hiked out through, and we're sitting in this tight canyon, a lot of rock slides, and we're sitting there, and I got to use the restroom, so I tell him I'll be right back. I start walking away, and I hear a wolf howl, and I turn around real quick to kind of look at my client, see if he heard it too, and he looks at me, young 16-year-old kid, is that an elk? I'm like, no, that's a wolf.
He said real loud.
Yeah, real loud, and I asked him if they had wolf tags. They said no, and he asked me if I could shoot it, and I said, I can try. So this wolf's howling maybe, I don't know, 200 yards behind us up in the cliffs. We wander out down to the opening, and I can hear the thing walking right above us. And I try to get a good rest and before I start howling at her. And next thing you know, she kind of shows herself, starts coming down. And my client's so fired up, he starts yelling, "There it is!" Wolf kind of takes off, and I take a crappy shot, shoot high. Thing turns runs at us, and
Teeth showing.
yeah, teeth showing,
Just coming for the kill.
coming to eat us. And so she turns and ends up stop. I woofed at her. She stopped, and I shot her, and she rolled off the cliff. And the kid yells as loud as he can, you know, she fell off the cliff, and then just immediately starts sprinting towards the wolf. And I'm just like, I gotta yell at him, you know, because he's so fired up. I gotta yell at him like, hey, let's make sure this thing's dead before you go and grab it.
Yeah, finally got one.
Yeah, and yeah, we went up. It was a beautiful wolf. The girls down at the FWP thought that she was probably 6 years old.
Very cool. So we get in. You're the next one to make a kill with
Yep.
your client.
How did it even go? I think we were in there the day before.
Yes,
And-
I went in there the first day and we saw four bulls.
Yeah.
And we had, while we were waiting on the bulls, they were moving around. My client had already killed a bull in Colorado, so he was not dead set on shooting just anything. He wanted to shoot a 300-inch bull, and we saw four raghorn bulls in there, 800 yards. We could have got a little closer. We could have killed one of those bulls for sure. We let a muley slide while we were waiting, probably 130, decent buck, gonna be sweet next year. But I told the information to Walker and Alex because they had a father and two sons, so they could kind of hunt that canyon together, but be in the same location but different,
Yep.
not crowded in around each other, just cover both ends of it.
Yeah.
So go on, carry up.
So the first day we went in there, Alex had the one son, and I had the other son and the dad, and we split up. We were probably 2 miles from each other, and we didn't see anything. Nothing. Alex seen. I think
Probably
they seen,
thought I was full of crap.
Yeah, I was like, shoot.
Josh
ain't
just
nothing in here.
hallucinating.
Yeah.
Freaking elk in here.
Yeah, but he seen. I think he said he seen 3 bulls, and then 2 muleys.
Yeah.
Something. But the next day we decided to go in there. Alex had a game plan. They're going to try to do this big stalk, or whatever, to drop down in on these elk, but didn't. So we ended up coming up with the plan. We were going to split. We were going to be about 100 yards from each other. He was going to be down to the right of me, and I was going to be to the left. But yeah, about, I think it was like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Glassing, my client seen a muley doe, and then out steps this huge muley buck.
He's
And
not lying this time.
Yeah, this one's an absolute giant.
So you guys hiked back in there the next day, and you dropped back into that same part of the canyon, but instead of like going to both ends, you like combined and like went to the center of it, but hunted the same ridge, so you could
Yes.
work both ends. Gotcha.
So about 9, 10 o'clock, my client sees a muley doe, and so pretty much
Live bait.
yeah. If you see a muley doe, you're pretty much guaranteed you're gonna see a muley buck this time of year, just about guaranteed.
Yeah, they're rutting like crazy.
Yeah. So we're paying attention best we can. Then we just seen a giant bodied deer come out, and here it ended up being a absolute pig of a muley buck.
Did you guys did he piddle fart around in like the timber and brush before he came out?
Yes.
So you couldn't tell
Yeah.
if it was a big one,
Yeah.
but you're just looking at that old dark gray looking
Yeah.
coat, and
Yeah.
he's back there moving around, and
Yeah.
you're like, dude, I think that's a buck.
Yeah. And then he broke into this
Who's
probably 20-yard wide span of trees, and he's in this bush for probably 20 minutes.
seems
Just-
like forever.
Yeah, facing away from us.
It is like forever, 20 minutes while
Yeah.
you're glassing.
Yeah, but he is in range.
Right
So,
on. So this whole time you got guy on the gun.
Yes, we're getting the spotter set up, all that stuff, making sure we're rolling with the camera,
Yeah.
phone, spotter,
Yep, playing with long range. You got everything ready to go.
Yes, and the buck finally steps down and turns broadside, and he's just standing there, and client shoots, and he hits low right. He doesn't even know what happened.
Okay, buck's just standing there.
No idea. The does
Exploding
take off.
snow.
Yeah, all the does ran back into this little patch of timber, Of course, he followed him. So we're like, shoot. All right. So then about 45 minutes later, comes back out.
So this whole time you guys just like wait on him.
Yeah.
So it must have been like a patch of timber. I'm trying to lay it out for the listeners. So it was like a patch that you could see most of the way around it, that they had to come back out of there,
Yes.
or you could move on them up or down the canyon to
Yep.
be adjacent with them.
Yep.
Okay, right on.
Yep. So he comes back out. We actually, again, we see another doe come out.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
he comes out.
Oh, the monster buck comes back out and gives you
Yeah.
a second shot.
Yep. So
Jesus.
the other brother gets on the gun. He shoots, misses. It's low. Right again. So we're like,
Something's going on.
yeah, we're like, once, maybe twice, maybe. So we redial the scope, dial her up, and of course he runs back in the woods again. And then probably an hour goes by, and they come back out in the same spot.
Oh my goodness.
But this time, there was a littler buck to come out, probably 140s, but we weren't not shooting that thing. We knew that giant was bound to come out, and then
Yeah.
does started flowing out, and then here he came, redialed. The other brother was back on her, squeezed her off. He hit hide. He was a little far back on the shot,
Okay.
and they run into that patch of timber, and they didn't go nowhere. Didn't see any come out left or right, because the way this patch of timber is, you can see left to right and up of it.
Yeah.
So,
You replayed this on your phone, I'm sure,
Yeah.
watching the shot,
I-
watching impact.
yep, watched it a million times, and I ended up seeing there's a crack in the trees where seen all the does run through, and then they stopped and they're looking back at him, and he never come through that crack.
Okay. So now you
So,
know.
I'm like, he's either died or he bedded down or something's up right there. So we're like, all right, well, let's just make a move on him. We're
Gear
gonna go
up.
up there. We need to, go see what's up there.
Yep.
So we unload our packs except for first aid kit, game bags, and knives.
Learned your lesson stabbing yourself.
Yeah. So start hiking up there. It takes us about 2 hours to get there. And when we get there, you can see the spot of impact. We start tracking them, and we get in the little patch of timber, and you can see where there's this like knee-high brush he didn't want to go through. He stopped and he's backing up, like walking backwards. And then he bedded down right there where the last spot I seen him. And then we take a couple more steps. He starts going down. And then Alex was with me, big-time shed hunter, and he spotted his horns through the brush. And he's like, there he is. All right. So the client pulls up on him.
You're telling the story very calm. I've heard this story now for
If you
20
know
times.
me, well, I don't know.
anybody
Yeah.
that listens to this
I am
podcast more than
wound
twice.
up. I'm absolutely wound up.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Alex, the client, couldn't see it. He's like, where is he at?
What's your distance from this buck at this point?
30, 40 yards.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Clients, just
He's,
wait.
he's
till you
still
hear this.
bedded. He's got his head up over the brush, All you can see is his head and his rack. And Alex is like, well, how can't you see him? Like, he's right there. And I'm like, shoot him in the head. And Alex
Oh
is like,
my.
no, shoot him in the neck. And then he,
Freaking out. You guys are worried this buck's gonna jump up and run
Yeah,
out of your
'cause-
lives forever.
yeah, I'll kill it.
Have you ever seen a deer that as big as what was laying there in front
I
of
have
you?
never seen a deer this big in my life at all. Like, never even, just crossing the road in front of me driving. And we got a hole in this thing, so it's kind of
Yeah.
serious.
It's serious at this. It's as close to happening.
Yeah.
This is as close as it gets.
Yeah. So,
Jay is. I can see Jay's like queued up. He's ready to say something.
yeah, so he,
He's ready, he's waiting for the special moment. Keep going on your story, Walker.
client shoots, and the buck, rolls. So we're like, oh, shoot, he's down. But the buck gets back up, and client shoots him again, drops him. That's it. So we start walking up to him.
Pump. I mean,
After he shot and it dropped it, we were,
ecstatic. Yeah.
it would have been tears, but it was too awesome to be tears. If that meant, I've never had that.
Holy cow.
I would have been crying if it was like a one.
It was like
60.
every Hallmark movie rolled
Yes,
into
it
10
was-
seconds
It
of
was
emotion.
awesome. Yep. So we're rolling up to this thing. I'm taking a video as he's walking up to it. And then its rack's missing. Half of the
Oh
rack.
my goodness.
So, yeah, he
Wow.
shot the horn off of it whenever he rolled it. But luckily we recovered the other half of the rack.
Yes.
Now, what did that buck score again?
191 3/4 if the horn wasn't shut off.
Yep.
Shut off.
Oh man, an absolute.
So if you look in the pictures and you see the electrical tape, there's a stick in there holding that thing on there. I mean, everything lines up perfect. There's just a little hole.
Taxidermist said he could fix it, no problem.
Yeah.
He sees it all the time. When I told him this story, he said, "Well, you don't see that all the time."
Yeah.
It happens. I can imagine it.
It just sucks
Got
it
it.
happened on that giant.
It's good. You learned a valuable lesson, huh? You probably wouldn't have learned the lesson if it wouldn't have
No.
been on anything else
Yeah.
but that. We've been talking about this off and on all year. I believe that we mentioned in the last podcast
did.
that Knucklehead would. Oh, did you cut that part out?
It must have got cut out.
Yeah, we were joking around in the last podcast that if Walker blowed something's rack off, he would be trying to pick up pieces to measure. Well, it happened.
Yep.
And then also earlier that year, he was so excited to possibly have his name in the infamous book of Boone and Crockett or Pope and Young.
I had my chance. I think I said that last week or the week before.
Yeah,
I was
you've
like,
been saying it multiple times.
yeah, I was like, I just want one buck that puts me in the Boone and Crockett. And there it was, but it can't go into the Boone and Crockett book because its horn was shot off.
So I was like, well, you're not going to be, why would you be wanting that? You're not going to go into the book. And he's like, assured me that the guide and then the outfitter.
Yep.
So then I got mad. I was
Yeah.
like, you dipstick.
Yep.
You gonna
You think
take
it's
her
gonna
down a couple notches?
Tone down the
Yeah.
excitement.
I've slowly been toning it down, but that one
He
really
has.
hurt.
I
You
told him. Yeah,
You just got to be on enough kills to just kind of have that where it almost doesn't matter anymore. You kind of have to have that in your head where you're just calm.
The thing that I'm kind of figuring out, Josh says it all the time, you can't expect them to kill it.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I think that's helping me chill out. I just expect them not to kill it. I get excited whenever they kill it.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean,
Everybody
if they're wounding it, then it's not as exciting. So I just pretend, oh, they're wounding this one.
Yeah, always just go to that spot that way, or you'll be emotionally butthurt.
Yeah.
You'll need a psychiatrist to.
100%.
Spook and wound outdoors.
Yeah,
That's what it's like.
honestly.
What was a lesson that you learned as a newer guide?
I conned a client into shooting a deer early in the week, and I got my butt reamed. We got up to it, and he wanted to know the score. He didn't have very good binoculars, and I told him what I thought it was, and he's like, "That's good enough, buck." And put the eat on him, and we got up there, and no bueno. He was mad. He was very upset with me. Told me I was very immature for not knowing how to score mule deer. And yeah, I heard about it all week. And needless to say, it probably hindered me in finding, just being optimistic and hunting on good spirits finds animals. And I was like in the depths of hell. This guy would, every time we did anything that was small, he would revert back to his mule deer buck. Anything all week. Huh. Sandwich doesn't have much meat on it. A lot like the rack on my mule deer. just non-stop, you know?
What about you, Jay? What made you calm down or get less excited?
Honestly, just being on enough, kills where, and the animal's not dead until you have it in your hands. I've seen a lot of wounds where it looks like a good shot and it's not, and you spend the rest of the week searching forever, and it's always in the back of your head no matter what. Just because you see the animal, doesn't mean anything. I know Alex actually told me something the other day that made a lot of sense, that his dad told him that like rushing the shot isn't going to get your hands on that animal's horns any faster.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. Walker, one thing that's good for you is you do get you've been putting your hands on quite a few animals, so you're learning a lot of lessons fast.
Yeah.
You're in like warp mode. It's good.
Yep.
I can't wait for one to chew you out, but then I'm gonna have to hear it too. So just know that I'm coming back on you, sucker.
That's all right.
All right, Brock. Are you gonna start with our hunting, or am I gonna have to cue this up and then you kind of tone in?
I'll tune in.
Okay.
You can start it.
So Jesse is a third-time repeat client. He had been coming bear hunting. The first time he come spring. The second time he come out, though he come in the fall, there was no feed for the bears. We were sucking at hunting. We couldn't find anything for him. It was just awful.
He was officially our first client as Waypoint Outfitters.
Yeah. Him and I got along good. We hit it right off. But anyways, they come bear hunting, unsuccessful. He come back out. This would have been his third time. He's trying for an elk, which stinks because he had been here in spring, so he saw elk everywhere. So I'm telling him the whole time, when you come on your rifle hunt, it's probably not going to be like that. Luckily, we knew where enough elk were at. We actually saw elk every day that we hunted. And what was the third day we made a kill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same day Walker
The first
shot
day,
his buck.
we seen 22 elk that day.
Yep. We kind of hinted on that. That's where Walker and them, they killed their mule deer. We vacated out of there. I knew where there was a decent bull at and a big whitetail. So we went in there and waited on those couple animals, and luckily spotted elk. He sees an elk. We don't think it's big enough. Jesse doesn't want to shoot anything small, so we get into position. He says, no bueno, I'm not shooting that bull. It's not big enough. I'm pouting. I'm back there. I put my binoculars down. This is now the fifth bull. I'm like, you're kidding me. I was like, it's the last week. I was like, we're only going to get so many opportunities with having to go like super far or like go into some nasty shithole somewhere, which we had already been in a couple of them. And this was one, but just an easy hitter.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
I spot that Boone Crockett whitetail.
he goes, big buck. Well, they tend to get wound up about big bucks, so I'm like, oh yeah, and I get my binoculars. I was like, oh my goodness, it's that big buck. He's back. So he's tending a doe down in the bottom of the canyon, 550 away from us, and he's working a couple of does. Jesse gets on the buck with a spotter and instantly sees it, and he's like, we're killing that buck.
I was so excited.
So we take my spotting scope off of my tripod and hook his Picatinny rail up on the gun to my tripod, and because the angle is pretty steep downhill and the hill that we're on is steep. He gets on the buck, and I have the phone cam of his, and we're making the video, and he sends the first one, and it's just over the buck's back. He dials it up. I told him just high. The second shot, pinwheels him. Done.
Hard punch.
Killed him. We got it all on video. Buck goes down the hill 20 yards, stumbling around, falls over dead. You can hear me in the video. I'm like, dude, just shoot the bull. Which, luckily, this bull is 130, 150 yards. Directly, same elevation down the canyon from the deer that is laying dead. He decides that it doesn't get any better than this. The day before Thanksgiving, this is the golden opportunity. We move over, resituate stuff back up. Boom, same shot over top of its back. The bull kind of moves its head around, and he puts his face in like the trajectory where the bullet would go to impact him in the shoulder or behind the shoulder. We tell him to hold off on the shot. He waits a split second. The bull turns its head, sends it, perfect shot, blows the bull's front shoulder, hits the bull in the shoulder, and drives it into the opposite shoulder, knocks him off his feet. He slides down the hill, 200-300 yards?
Fast.
Yeah, and I'm trying to keep up with the phone and the spotting scope, and I'm keeping up with it, and all of a sudden it disappears in the timber, and you can hear it. It sounds like you're rolling a boulder off the mountain. It's wild. So we can't get down because of the cliffs, so we have to go clear back out to the head of this canyon, and go a mile up to the head of the canyon that the animals were in, because we were on a finger ridge in between them. And we start hiking up the creek bottom of it. We get up in there to where we think we're parallel from the elk, and it's thick.
Nasty blow down swamp down there. It was pretty bad.
Devil's Club, everything that makes it fun to hike. We start climbing up the hill, and we're taking our good old time. It's late at night. We don't want to twist any ankles. Brock's ahead of us just a little bit, 20, 30 yards in the dark. We can see his light. And Jesse's like, find a slide where that elk slid off the hill, because we knew we were right close to it. And then all of a sudden, I found the elk. We hear him hoot. And when you hoot after...
Can you do a hoot
Oh,
right now?
no, it'll probably
No.
sound good, but there's something when you're hiking up the side of a hill and you don't have anything to drink, your mouth's kind of, and then you're like all excited and you're trying to hoot because you just found the elk.
Yeah.
It sounded like a dying parakeet.
But meanwhile, whenever I come around the tree, I see its guts hanging out.
Yeah. So he yells back to me. He's like, "This thing got all tore up in the fall." Is it?
Maybe got destroyed by rocks, just cut up, coming down.
I've seen stuff fall off the hills crazy. I was like, it didn't get tore up in that fall. I was like, just hang on a minute. So we get up there, and lo and behold, a mountain lion had beat us to this thing. And it had not been 2 hours. We have video of the hair and things. We'll upload them on the Instagram so everybody can see it. They had tore into the guts. They were trying to get the heart, liver, and lungs. That's what a cattle do when they first make it to a kill. They're going to eat those high-protein things. So it was trying to spill the guts out, and we spooked it off. Wild. Doubled up
That's
Thanksgiving Eve, and then a mountain lion. I mean, we've doubled up quite a few times, at this hunting outfit, but to have to deal with a mountain lion on one of the carcasses, that's pretty cool. That was neat.
That was the craziest thing I've seen.
Epic.
Yeah.
And also, you doubled up on the same day, hours after we killed a 190
191 3/4.
mule deer.
Yeah.
So I didn't believe any of you when you were texting me
No.
this stuff.
I text more. I didn't my inReach. I forgot to charge it, so I text her. I was like, "We just tagged out," and I shut it down. And then I turned it back on a while later. She's like, "Yeah, quit joking." I was like, "No, honestly, we tagged out bull and buck."
Meanwhile, Walker and Alex are both texting me, Boone and Crockett, monster muley down. So I assume that they're all sitting on a mountain together somewhere,
Yeah.
passing
Fired up.
time by lying to me.
And the picture of the muley would not send for me.
Yeah.
And Morgan's like, I still haven't got a picture. And I'm like, it's trying to send. And she's like, I don't believe you.
So our buck, it finally ended up scoring. It went to the taxidermist. He scored it. It was 176, and the bull was 201.
Yeah.
Right on.
5x5 bull, and the buck was a 6x. Sweet. He had split brow tines. It was a stud deer.
It was wide, had
Yeah.
mass on him.
And then you and I had to on Thanksgiving Day.
Go pack it out.
Yeah.
How many animals did that make it for this year
13
Oh,
bulls.
I know 13 elk.
that you
Probably.
packed out?
Yeah. I'd say 5 muleys,
Probably.
4 or 5 muleys.
So in the beginning of the season, we all gave you Brock a pretty hard time. Picked on you a lot.
Yeah.
But I want to go around the table and have everyone tell a story when Brock saved their ass this year, because he has definitely pulled through and surprised all of us, surpassed expectations.
Thank
So,
you, Morgan.
Mine was the last one. He glassed all day. He didn't sleep on the job.
You
We
slept
also-
on the job that day.
Yeah, I got to sleep on the job that day, which I strategically sleep on hours when animals don't move for sure. You learn that with experience.
Right.
But no, you spotted those animals. You glassed hardcore all day, and packing out. Your gear has stepped up. You look like you know what you're doing.
He learned how to tighten his waist belt. When Levi was out here?
Yeah.
It was stuck the whole time.
Honestly,
And it still does it a little bit.
I mean, what better way is there to learn when you get to eat, breathe, and sleep it for
That's how you learn.
13 weeks of the actual guiding, and then months before that here, and
Yeah.
now it's going to be months afterward because we're going to start lion hunting.
I can't wait for that.
Jay, when did Brock really save your ass?
I mean, when when we shot that mule deer, I mean, he spotted my buck this year, and I mean, we grinded our butts off for that thing, and
When he spots it, it isn't just you spotting it, because anybody can spot an animal, but then whenever he talks you into where he spotted it, and the fool, everybody can get on the animal fast instead of, I see a deer, and then for the next.
It's by that tree over there.
Yeah, it was actually, there's a buck. He's in the bottom part of the canyon. He's over there by where we've been glassing all them, the big rock.
Exactly.
Just called us right into it. It was nice.
There's 2 does
Yes.
up above him.
Yeah.
I lost him. Brock moved down the hill while I was getting my gun set up. I seen the does, and he walked me into him, and the deer moved up, and I was able to get a shot.
Shot through a tree
Yep.
in a little opening.
Tiny little opening. Watched it hit him, and rest is history there.
Walker, what about you?
Mine was when I stabbed myself in the leg.
Had to drag him out, throw him on my shoulder.
Jesus.
I need to upload the picture of this wound.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to replay this wound for the people that are tuning in new. If anybody has seen Dances with Wolves, when they're amputating that guy's leg, Kevin Costner, that's what he looked like. I mean, don't take my leg. So Brock, you pack a lot more than what I thought. Rode a pack horse. Tell us about your pack horse experience.
I hurt my legs pretty bad.
Did it?
It kind of did. I don't know why.
Maybe we should get you like a 16-inch seat. That Decker, it's probably like maybe 20 inches wide.
Or just ride a riding saddle.
Yeah.
That helps.
Also, we were going through crooks and all that too.
I cut him no slack. We were boogieing in there, and he's holding on. And you have that D loop in front of you on a Decker, and he's got one in the front, one in the back, launched down to the back of where he's going.
Yep.
It's good stuff. So, Montana and all, how was it, Brock?
I loved every minute of it. Just watching all you guys, learning from you, just taking notes off of everything, helping me learn for whenever I become a guide one day. So it's just awesome.
Learning all the little onyx, topographical mapping. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been breaking stuff down. I know I've been trying to break down even why I do something all the time now. Like even when we move vehicles around or something like that, you go with me over to feed the animals. I try to load you up with information.
Yep.
You soak up as much as what you can. But doing good, dude. I'm freaking proud of you, for real. I
Thank
know
you.
all of us are. You've lessened the load on us, helping us pack and stuff. It's not only that, everything. So Jay, we didn't ask you how you. This is the end of your, not the end, but I hope not.
Am I getting fired?
No, absolutely. But this is the end of the year. This is the end of the first year with us. Elk and deer season's in the books.
Man, it has been a really great year.
It was a good year. It was sweet. Honestly, we had a good year. We killed.
Definitely.
Everybody's like, "Oh, you guys had a great year on killing." I was like, "No, that's what I expect us to do every year."
Yeah.
We didn't go extravagant. There was a lot that got away.
What's the stats, Morgan?
Everyone likes the honest opportunity rating. Elk, it was 38% in rifle season. And for deer, it was 63% in rifle season. So,
Not too shabby. Now, some people, because of their ability, got multiple opportunities in animals, and some got zero.
A lot of it has to do with our clients as well this year.
Yes?
When you have guys that can go and do not give up and are with you every step of the way, your guide can make it happen, but you have to be right there with them.
Clients, honestly, epic job. Everybody, shout out, thank you. You guys worked hard. It was a grind for your 6 days. Honestly, it's a public land hunting. It's rugged country. It can be heaven for most men that want to put out the enough gur to do it, and anyone can. And it just showed this year with the amount of effort dudes put out. I was more proud of the fact that the last week, dudes weren't mailing it in. Went hard to the end. We didn't even tell Curry shot a buck, Alex, with his client, Saturday night right before dark. They went to the bitter end. They took a shot at a whitetail and in the closing part of the light, and they didn't think it was a very good shot. With the snowstorm coming, we scratched our heads. We didn't know whether to go right in. We knew that if we waited, we would have a better chance of recovering that animal first thing in the morning going in. Alex and his client, they start in just in case the animal isn't dead. There's not 5 of us storming up through there. So I told him, dude, just make sure you do due diligence for that animal. Just keep covering ground on him. He's like, no way. went to the top of the hill. The bucks drifted over into the next canyon. So Morgan and I had made it to the trailhead, and we were sitting there waiting to see whether we need to come in and help pack.
And then I hit a deer.
And then Jay hits a deer. So I was like, oh, we got something to do.
Jay finally got the doe that he's been looking for, and
Some hillbillies freaking beat us to it. I mean, it wasn't on the road for a few minutes, and they
Yeah.
pulled up and stole the dang thing.
Yeah,
got a
while we
video
were
of it.
walking.
Yeah, while they were walking up to grab it.
destroyed his truck, and he didn't even get to scavenge the meat.
Orange Army hopped out the truck for him, grabbed it and took off.
So I'll have a 4-door next year.
All the clients out there that had to cram in his truck.
Yeah, in the car seat in the back. That thing is tiny. Not a lot of room.
What is one thing you guys would like to see change from this year to next year? What needs to be changed?
Indoor bow range.
I'm on the spot.
It's fine. You're not going to hurt our feelings at all.
Morgan doesn't even have feelings.
I don't.
Maybe exploring the new land out there where we haven't hunted.
You're a brown noser. Jesus Christ, say something hurtful that needs to change, not that.
I
We
think
need-
your mullet's stupid.
Listen, easy
I'm
on
just
my
kidding.
mullet. Easy on my mullet.
Okay, Jay said Josh's mullet needs cut.
No, I would just like to, more of a hopeful thing is have some more people during the archery season want to do some more backpack hunting or some drop camp type of hunts, with using the horseback that way.
We're gonna push that, man.
Yeah.
I like
Frickin'
it when Josh
subpar.
makes breakfast.
That's right.
I do too. I think it should be an everyday occurrence.
Yeah, I
I
like
I
that
would
breakfast.
really love to not have to wake up at
What the
2:30
hell,
or
bud?
3 a.m. to make
Oh, you were on my side.
breakfast.
Here I am talking you up. Just jumped ship.
So one of the things I would love to see this outfit get, I would love to book a moose hunt client or a sheep.
Mountain goat.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
We got a team to go into that hardcore country. I mean, it would be nice. As guides, we're setting holy grails on certain canyons. We kind of had them distinguished by the end of rifle season. There's going to be places where we're going to shoot anything that goes, and there's places that are going to be only big bucks. We'll come up with what we think should be and things like that.
Anyway, anything else?
I believe that concludes rifle, elk, and deer season. We'll be back the next couple weeks with some hound hunting stories. We're probably going to set this stuff up. Morgan's not going to be with us. She's going to be going back, getting some show stuff ready. That way I can fly back and forth.
Well, thanks, guys.
No, thank you, Morgan.
Yeah, thank
Great
you,
job.
Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan, you're a part of our hunt every single day.
Yep. Good.
Morgan makes like 1,800 or 2,200 burritos, 13 weeks.
Eat your heart out, Taco Bell. Look forward to next year. Adios. We're out.
Bye.
Deuces.
See ya.